We are live.
Raven, the GS, yo, 1/3 of what's happening.
Sam, the legend behind the techie.
That's what I'm talking about!
Pacific Rim Uprising, and for me it's exactly what you'd expect. It's essentially big robots fighting big monsters, and in some parts of the film big robots fighting other big robots, and I thought it was true to what I expected to see. So on that level I enjoyed it. It wasn't particularly deep, it wasn't particularly emotionally moving, but it was good, a good spectacle, so go watch it.
Pacific Rim Uprising, I feel, is a very cartoony movie that kind of doesn't match the tone of the original, but it still delivers on better action sequences than the original ever did. Now, I know that's controversial to say, but I have my own opinion, so deal with it. So, yeah, I would definitely give this a 4 out of 5. You know, it's pretty good, and I recommend it.
Pacific Rim is my childhood. And when I heard that a second movie was coming out, I was so excited. And guess what? I love this movie. It was so fun, so enjoyable. I agree, the plot was rushed, and some of the character development needed more. But overall, an amazing experience. Go out and check this movie out. It was phenomenal.
We are live, guys. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitztech.
And I'm Raven, the GS.
And today we have got the Pacific Rim Uprising spoiler review. Man, oh man, I don't know how we got here, to be honest. But,
yeah, look, just start off with the basic stuff. Okay, who's in it, who's not in it, who's directing, who's...
I'll go over the rundown. So, yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising, directed by Stephen S. D. Knight. It is with casted is, I don't know what I'm doing right now. John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, Jing Tian. I'm not good with name. Jin Tian.
I think so.
Jin Tian. Carly Spency, Zhang Jin, Charlie Day, Ben Godman. So budget on this movie was 150 million. Released March 15th. Distributed by Universal Pictures.
Boy,
it seems like everything should be thereabouts, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
it seems everything should be good.
I think it pretty much. Funny enough, the box office just broke even the budget. Also, funny enough, it's produced by John Boyega.
Got money on that, yeah.
John Boyega, yeah, it's now we're moving now. We're starting and we're producing.
Man,
yeah,
well, that's good, you know. I like to hear stuff like that.
Right, it was only the other day we was watching Attack on the Block, and now my guys.
Star Wars money and Disney money, I guess, isn't it?
Do your thing, G. Do your thing.
Alright. So we're gonna go through the faults, the story, the acting, the technical parts of the directing, and then we're gonna rate at the end.
Cool. Alright.
So, thoughts? Really?
My thoughts in the movie. This is actually pretty funny. My thoughts on the movie. So, movie starts off really well. Okay, explaining, the background. John Boyega's background, and how he meets certain characters, and My thoughts are pretty limited. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give it away right now because then it'll be the end of this review. But I'll tell you that I was really, really happy with the first 20-25 minutes. And I'm going to give it to you because I think you have a lot more to say than I do. Okay, just the principal thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I think it goes to me, like, I like the way the movie started, kind of like the way the movie started off. Like, I didn't like the exposition already. For me, that was kind of stupid because it's a sequel, yet you're explaining the world yet again. Like, either you've seen the first one, or you're just going to be like, this is a sequel, so let me just see the ride anyway. So they kind of done that, like, no need for exposition, like, whatever. And then, like you said, like, the first 20 minutes was like, you know what? This looks kind of, it's gone in a good direction. And then, for me, it kind of really goes downhill from there.
Well, how can I put this? So you got 100% of the movie,
Yes.
and then I can only give you about 5% of my thoughts in it because the other 95% I was slumped, gone.
That is mad.
Like, yeah, like let's just leave it there.
You don't want to give a reason, a little bit of a reason why.
Yeah, so the movie starts really well, you know, straight into action, you know, chasing scenes and characters introductions and you know, I said it before, you know, the background, and then after the 20 minutes we go into this deep massage of conversations, just like let's just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is an action movie, but we are going to talk because that's what action movies do.
Right.
We talk.
Uh-huh.
So throughout the whole talking, I passed out. Like it's mad because like I took a nap. Like usually if we go, you know, if you go to the movies after 10, take your nap. That's the house rules of the Cybernets. Take a nap so you don't fall asleep, you know. So I took an evening nap, right? So I'm fresh. It's not like, yo, I'm tired. No, I'm not. Your boring conversations put me to sleep. It was like a lullaby. You know what I mean? And every time I woke up, like,
I'm not going to jump on that because I'm not going to lie. I experienced the same thing. Like I said, the first 20 minutes was good. It was engaging apart from the exposition. And then all of a sudden it does slow down. And then they're talking. And I think it was between John Boyega and Scott Eastwood.
yeah.
They were talking about something. And basically they weren't getting along. So I was like, they're talking. I don't know what they were talking about because I also went to sleep.
All right.
I wake up. These two are both in a Jaeger together.
So we're already now moving into the story arc of this, right?
Right.
We're already, so we moved from force into the story right now, yeah.
So I was like, I don't know how these two even became like mind compatible to move in a Jaeger. But that's what I mean. I thought that it was mad. So I thought, okay, then whatever. But then, like you're saying, every time they did want to speak, it was a snooze fest. But then, yeah, let's move on to the story. So the story, basically, they had to force the precursors back into Pacific Rim because in the first one, like, if you watch the first one, you should know they closed off the portal between
where Thing blew himself up.
Yeah, exactly. So they closed it off. So I never questioned why is there a Pacific Rim 2 because in the trailer they show all the what do I call it?
The mechas?
No, that's what are the monsters called?
Oh, the kaijus?
Kaiju. So yeah, they show all the kaijus and stuff. I never really questioned how they coming back. Maybe they flew back in or whatever. But so yeah, so the story is now also you got all these kaiju still kind of dead on the earth or whatever. But then there's a company bioengineering kaiju dead parts, and that's when another Jaeger, which no one knows how it's being controlled or who it's coming from, is now attacking the main army of Jaegers. So it was like, okay, cool, that's happening. That's a bit of a mystery too. And then we eventually find out it's this other company, the Chinese company that have been doing that, and it's Charlie Day's company. Who was on the first one with the original army is now trying to, I'm guessing, make
Who
this
helped
new
them
army.
out in the first place.
That's it, yeah. And then it turns out that he is the one who has now a mind link with the precursors because of the first movie. They're the one telling him, or he's being controlled, and then they're making him make these new kaijus as well as he's been making these new kaijus so they can bring the portal to open again so they can come through again.
See, I thought like I got bits of it, especially right at the beginning when he comes in the house and it seems like he's talking to his wife or partner, like, honey, I'm home. Oh, you don't believe, you won't believe the day I had, sort of thing. That sort of conversation that you have once you get home. You know what I'm saying, to your partner, and you're thinking, this guy, partner, what? And then it turns out that all this time, and this makes perfect sense to me because this is your typical human being meddling with stuff that you're not supposed to, or sometimes, you know, you just want to keep that trophy, you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. And he's been in touch with this kaiju this whole time, you know what I'm saying. And obviously, now this creature is inside his mind, you know what I'm saying. Like as soon as he gets home,
that's it.
Barely, like, you know what I'm saying, barely gets home, I'm already, you know, he picks up the thing, puts on his head, and already, you know what I'm saying, linked in with the kaiju. So that to me, I was like, oh, okay, this is a good excuse to bring him back, or even open a portal. Obviously at the time I didn't know if there was going to open a portal or not, you know what I'm saying, like, and then obviously I fell asleep, so I don't know what was coming, which you just explained, you know what I'm saying. So up to that point I thought it was cool, but then all that talking, snooze fest again.
That's the problem, because like you said, like the funny thing is, it would have been an even better story because there's going to be a number 3. They allude to that at the end, and we're going to get to that. So it would have been a better story if they built this army full of kaiju brains. So it'd be that Jaegers versus Jaegers, and then we had the end, the mega kaiju kind of thing. But then the army of Jaegers, controlled by the kaiju brains, was just to open up the portals again. So it's like, we've seen that in number 1. Why are you then going to alliterate the same thing? Which, like, what's so special about that? Because when I saw it in the trailer, we saw a kaiju versus a Jaeger versus Jaeger. I was like, cool, that's like Gundam versus Gundam action.
Right.
Like, we obviously we've seen that in Transformers, but the way these guys move in this movie, way better.
Oh yeah, a lot better, man.
Come on, like that. Even that the fight between those Jaegers where he pulled out his own blade and then the guy brought he brought two.
Yeah, and he was like,
oh,
what?
Exactly.
Like, yo, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that kind of stuff was exciting, but then the story kind of lingered on. They tried to explain stuff. It never, for me, was never exciting whenever they were talking.
It's crazy because, like, okay, so I had spells of snooze, guys. Okay, it's not like I was really tired and I just completely passed out. No, I kept like sometimes I would just shut my eyes and I could still hear what's going on. Like, so I'll open up my eyes and something is going on. You're like, okay, and then twos, okay, back to talking, and it was like really, really boring and tiring of just people talking consistently, just talking throughout this whole movie and explaining things to us which we already know. It's like they really dumbed this movie.
Thank you.
I don't know for what reason, and I don't think I've ever come across anything like that. Like, not even if I'm watching Dora the Explorer with my niece or, you know, Peppa Pig, they do not dumb things down. You know what I'm saying? They'll say something, alright? If Peppa doesn't know something, she go to Daddy Pig, I'll ask him, and then he'll explain to her what it is.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But he will not dumb it down for her. So why on earth would you dumb it down for us in this movie? And this is why it was just so tiring for me to keep up with this movie. And obviously the talking as well. Like, it's just, it's ridiculous. This movie is absolutely ridiculous.
Like, it was hypnotic, because I don't know why, but every time they did talk, it was like it's like sending you to sleep, almost.
Bro.
It's like, why are you awake? Just go to sleep. And even the action scenes, the action scenes were probably the best part of the movie.
Right.
But it didn't have the heart and soul of Del Toro. Like, you can feel it from midway-ish.
Look,
like, this thing is soulless.
His name should not be in this movie.
Well,
and I remember right at the end of the movie, his name came up and we looked at each other and he was like, bruv, this is not, sorry, this is not his movie. Like, no, Guillermo del Toro, no. Like, I've been watching this guy's movies since God knows how long. This is not his movie. Like, he's actually a very, very smart person. And he would not do something like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think they just used his name, or maybe he was part of it at the beginning, and I'm pretty sure they parted ways, or he ended up doing something else, and he wasn't part of the main project for this movie. Alright? But do not disrespect this man's name. Like,
that's why you went to go make, what was it called? The water.
Oh, yeah, that water with, something in the water. I can't remember now.
Obvious, like. But, yeah, the story for me, very, very contrived, very cliche. And it just, like you're saying, it just seemed like they try to alliterate number one, and nah, it was so dead.
Like it's nuts, yeah. Because all right, so there's this right at the beginning. We start off with John Boyega's character. I can't remember his name now. So he's going on about how he's not like his dad.
Oh Lord!
Right.
Oh, he's moving on to acting.
I guess so. Like,
Okay, cool.
all right, we're into acting. Bam, we're there. All right, and he's okay. I'm not like my dad, and he's moving completely different from his dad's ways. And even when he gets back to the army, okay, the way he does things, you're like, okay, it's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's there by force. He's still doing his thing, but differently. And then somehow, some freaking how, he ends up doing stuff his dad does. Like, how ridiculous is that? How dumb is that? Like, he completely just reversed his character.
Yeah.
It's like, where is the consistency in that? I don't know.
Like, I do understand, like, it might be in his DNA to be, you know, the hero no matter how much he fights it, but they never allude to the fact how he got to that point sometimes. Like, he just went from A, like you said, not going to be like my dad, keeps repeating himself, yet his actions aren't exactly his words. And obviously that happens in real life or whatever, but his character development, not there. And that's what I think is with, like, most of his characters. One, most of his characters, if they died, I'm like, cool. There's like filler anyway, which I thought was gonna happen, but only one person died, I think.
Yeah, his sister, Jake, right? Is that his name?
Is it Jake?
Jake?
Is it
No,
Asian
no,
dude?
no, Jake, John Boyega, his sister.
Of course, yeah, she died.
So she dies, and which was pretty like. Again, we're still in the first 20 minutes of this movie, so like everything, like, you know, you've got the reasons, okay. All right, so she pulls him back into the army because he keeps getting in trouble with the law. All right, we have you know, how they bring the girl in with him. So it's like, okay, we're all tied in, we're all back into the army, and then he just wants to do this job and then be out. But then she dies, and it's like, oh, now it's personal. I'm saying up to that point it's cool, and then everything else from there is like, what is going on?
Exactly.
Like, it's just. It's just all over the place. It's a big mess.
But that's the thing that I gotta give it to John Boyega. Like, if it wasn't for his charismatic style and likable character, everyone in his movie is dead.
But did he save the movie?
No,
Like
he
no
couldn't
matter
save
how
the movie.
charismatic you are, it's just
Like, he couldn't carry it, unfortunately. But
how can you? How can you? Like, even his character was questionable. It is questionable. You know what I mean? It's inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like, his character right at the beginning was very, very good. And then somehow they flipped the script on this character. Why would you do that?
That's the question.
Makes no sense.
That's why, like I said, like, if he's on screen, I kind of stayed awake because he was the only one. Not making sense, but in fact, that's the funny thing as well, because most of the things they were talking about were all one-liners. You're explaining a movie with one-liners.
Right.
Like, Scott Eastwood, man, is just forced into movies, man. Like, I don't want to hit on the guy because he's decent and everything, but he ain't his dad.
Every time I open up my eyes, the acting, everything was boring to death. Like, it put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Mental, like.
But yeah, I think John Boyega is probably the only salvageable character out of this whole movie. But that's not saying a lot because, like I said, everyone else.
I disagree with that.
Could be.
He goes down with the ship too, fam.
Woo.
He goes down too. Everyone, crash and burn. That's it. Let it go. All right, that's.
Everyone should have died in this movie, to be honest, because all the other ones in the Jaeger that we saw in the trailers, they should have died. Don't know why the other one dude died and then the other one was still alive. That was dumb to me. I thought that whole ship, that whole Jaeger should have died. The villain, they kind of saved him, so I'm guessing he's going to be number 3, Charlie Day's character. They saved him, he just got punched.
Alright. No.
He should have died, like, he should have got finished off. Well, no, they were speaking to, okay, yeah, they saved him because he's the only link to the precursors, but even then they were like, yeah, you came for us, but now we're coming for you. But he's not really the precursor.
See,
though.
that should have been this movie. And I think even you said it before.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been this movie, the second one. Like, we're not like, okay, we've had the, you know, the first introduction where you guys came to us. Now let's go to you, and then maybe the third we meet in the middle.
Exactly.
Or the second one, like something so horrible that happens now that both parties need to go back, get their armies, get everyone, and then come in for a final battle.
Space war or something like that.
Exactly. But no, you just did the movie, the same movie, worse. Worse. And we said this before. Like, the movie is great for what it is. Like, for the genre and theme, it was a good movie. Now you've completely trashed it. Like, the only thing that saved the movie, which was a bit of the acting, you know, the fights and everything, now there was none of that. Absolutely rubbish.
That's what I mean, like, no likable characters. Fight scenes were meh at best. We're getting onto that. Fight scenes were meh at best. Story was was forced.
There's no story, period.
There you go, no story, period. So let's get on into the fight scene. So the CGI bits. CGI to me isn't that bad, but what fight was it? Okay, like I said, the fight with the Jaeger, the first one.
The first ever invasion.
Yes.
The first attack.
That one was good.
That was good. Okay, but from the beginning, even the chase bit right from the beginning, where John Boyega meets the girl. I can't remember. Mako?
Yeah.
Mako, the name of the girl, yeah. So there's a chase scene, and every time the camera tracks, it's blurry. And at first I thought, okay, like, you know, it's the beginning of the movie, you know, you're still, you know, you're pretty excited and whatnot. And it did start pretty well, so okay, you let it slide. But then when he gets that first attack, and you see it starts to hurt my eyes, bro. Like, no word of a lie. Like, every time the camera panned did this, it hurt my eyes. Like, I was in pain. Like, it's just, I don't know what he was doing to me. Like, my eyes just like, I don't know if they were crossing my eyes or something, but it was mad. Like, I don't even know how they did that.
Like, yeah, I thought shaky cam was gone in 2018, but like, why are you guys still doing this? Like, you seen the raid, right? You pan out, you get everything. The only way you're doing shaky cam is you're trying to hide something. Exactly. Like, you pan out when you're doing the big robot scenes. Cool, you get everything. But what is it when it comes to like the human scenes? Yeah. Like, it's not gonna be boring if there's a lot going on.
Right.
But if you have to do shaky cam and making the camera do this, you're hiding something.
It's painful, man.
It is, yeah.
Like, your eyes cannot keep up with it.
Because you're looking there and it's already moved.
And
so you're looking there, it's already moved. So
flip. No.
Yeah, so that was kind of horrible. So that was really bad on that part. But yeah, like I said, the Jaeger fight. First one was good. Second one kind of repeated itself. Like, you kind of knew what was gonna happen. Like, there was nothing new because it was the same Jaeger as well.
Okay, so here's the thing. The first fight, you're like, oh yeah, okay, uppercuts, you know.
Yeah.
New
uppercut,
weapon.
man.
Right. The guy gets a nice uppercut.
Yeah.
You know, it rails up the building, and you're like,
Oh my
that
God.
is really good.
There
You're
you
like,
go.
oh
Yeah,
yes, that's
yeah.
what we're here for.
Mm.
Like, this is the reason why we went to watch this movie, because we don't really care much about the story in itself, as long as the fight in itself is good, right?
Exactly.
And you're like, yes, okay, bang, man gets an uppercut, and then that fight kind of finishes, and everything's cool, because again, we're still in the first 20 minutes, guys. I know, like, that's it. Then everything else, which I'll take it to our previous reaction, is repeat. And here's the thing, and this explains why, and I know Joe's gonna give us a hard time for this. Watch till we watch this movie, bro. He's gonna come back for our next. When we was doing the last reaction, and we was like, oh, this is sick. Bang, 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 bang. Oh yeah, we're all hyped, we're all jumping around. Yes, we can't wait for this movie. Even in the movie, this part sucked. Like, it wasn't even that great. It wasn't even that great. The trailer, the trailer is purely chopped up just to get cheap ticket sales. And we said this. We even said this. If this is the final fight or one of the main fights, they've put this in the trailer reactions simply because maybe they wasn't selling the tickets enough and they had to get people hyped up to go and buy the tickets. And we fell for it. Whether it was going to be bad enough, we were still going to watch it. But for the general public, this was like, okay, they're enticing them to go watch the movie. I'm there watching slump, like so boring. Like every time I opened my eyes in the fight scenes, it was dead.
That's what's so dumb. Like you said, we saw the trailer actions, and I said the same thing. Like the IMAX trailer, this cannot be the final fight. And guys, if you've seen that trailer, you've seen the movie. I ain't gonna lie, you've seen the movie because that's why you're sleeping, because you've seen that part before.
We've seen that part.
You've seen him throwing through the building. You've seen him like do the whole slide underneath bit. You've seen everything because all the action scenes are in the trailers, and that's how they sold you because that's all they had. They either had the talking, which you don't want to hear about, and you want to see the action, which you've seen in the trailers. So what's in the movie?
The only thing that's not in the trailer is the uppercut scene. That's in the first 20 minutes.
That's what we like to sell.
And that's the best part. Like, the first 20 minutes are the best part of this movie. Everything else, snooze fest, you're sleeping. And if you're up, you're torturing yourself. It's mental.
It's actually crazy.
This movie is nuts.
And that's what I hate about the action scenes, because in the Jaegers, like, they don't, apart from the uppercut scene, when you think about it, there's nothing else that's over the top crazy, jump on my seat, oh my god. It's even him when he got the woman called the whip, and threw the guy through the building. Yeah, we've seen that before, but when you see it in the cinema, it's like, okay.
It's like it doesn't raise up the bar. You know what I mean? Like, there's scenes that we've seen on trailers, but obviously people's TVs, okay.
Mobile phones.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let's say, for example, the average household TV is, I don't know, 40-inch.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, just the average.
Yeah.
There's a difference, you watching it in the 40-inch, and you go into cinemas with the surround sound and everything, and bang, you get the whole, experience. Non-existence. Dead.
That's what's so
like,
crazy.
How do you pull that off, guys? Like,
it was like, that's what's mad. Like, when you think about it, there was no like, you go watch the trailers and they're supposed to suck you in, yeah.
Right.
Cool. But in the movie, there's meant to be a trump card. Somewhat, especially the ending scene. Like, imagine Batman vs Superman. We saw the trailers, whatever. It's still hype, but they didn't show 1 second of the warehouse scene. Why? Because it's one of the best 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Wow.
This movie, they show you the ending scene, why he's joining up. So you already know what's going to happen. You already know he's fighting another Jaeger. You already know that how they're going to take down the biggest kaiju ever. And even that scene where, basically, to take it down, they have to send a Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah.
Or Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah.
They send it into the atmosphere, and then it has to come crashing down. I had so many problems with that scene. One, the visor of the actual Jaeger was open.
Right.
So please tell me how these guys inside the Jaeger didn't burn up when they were re-entering the atmosphere.
Well, I can tell you that whoever's behind that scene failed in science. Or
Mad
maybe
thing.
just didn't have science, period.
Mad thing. Another thing, this thing kept saying danger, danger, structural thing happening. Not once did, like, okay, it's meant to say that, so you're supposed to be like, oh, and did you see, are they going to make it? Nothing ever fell off.
It's
I was like, whatever, innit? And then even in the next part where they're like, oh, I've used my escape pod for that Scott Eastwood. I ain't got one. Oh, it's jumped into mine. And then obviously his one doesn't work. At that point I was like, then just die, innit?
Just die.
They should have just died like his dad. Like,
fuck,
you're already that far. It's like, just sacrifice yourself, innit? Like,
it's just...
and then them being saved by the woman in the back, being able to cut into the thing. I was like, then they should have died.
Well, like...
Coming with that little tiny thing. You tell me that's going to crash on the ground? No, come on, man. I know you're meant to like. I know it's an action movie. It's not real. These kaijus are never really.
What action? What action?
Whatever you want to call it, in dramatic.
They
whatever.
need to scrap action of this movie.
What would you call it then? Comedy. This is not funny.
No.
It's not dramatic. It's not a drama. Snooze fest.
I guess so, fam, because it literally puts you. You know what? Like that last movie just described. I opened up my eyes. Okay, now he punches him. Done. It's like, oh, and then they decide to have a snow fight.
Snow fight, yeah. Even that part as well where it was like trying to get up. I was like, if this thing even gets up, I don't care at this point, and it dies, and then it shows you that it's actually been cut in half. I'm like, every time they tried to do an intense, oh my god kind of scene, I was like, I don't care. I didn't care if it got back up and it was gonna like maul them or whatever. I didn't care if that thing cut them in half or whatever. I didn't actually care. Like every time, and even then, there's a part where she's like, "I'm coming to you. I'm gonna jump in your Jaeger." No, you can't make the jump. She jumps off this cliff bit. I'm like, I hope she died. And then obviously he picked her up with the hand. I'm like, oh, flips. Why did you save her, man?
It's funny because you say like the bit where the monster cut in half, and it's supposed to be intense, but they make it funny.
Yeah. Oh,
How?
Lord.
How? Like, is it funny? Is it intense? Is it serious? What is it?
That's it.
Because you yourself don't even know it. It's
and that's where I'll come out as director, like it's weird how you do one scene very shaky, but then you do the action scenes of the Jaegers very panned out very well. Like, it's so confusing. Even another part, again, in the trailers where the base is getting attacked, and then you see that 360 scene where like she's in the middle, there's explosions heading everywhere. For me, that was kind of good, but again, in the trailer, and again, we want to see it once. Like there's no imagination. Like, I hate to say his name to be dragged into this, but Del Toro, come on now, the boat scene where he's dragging it. Stuff like
on the first one.
Yeah, come on now, there's scenes like that.
There was none of that.
Exactly, like
zero. There's nothing new, nothing on the edge. It's just dead.
Another thing that blows my mind, and I compare it to Transformers when I was walking out, isn't it? I was like, this is basically Transformers because I don't know if you noticed, but every scene with a Jaeger or a Kaiju, slow-mo. Rinse to death. Like, get rid of slow-mo. You don't need it. What you need is the best angles.
Right, that's it.
You don't need, like, this guy would be the whip beard. We don't care if they're in midair because we know they're not going to crash on the... These guys are held up by mechanical arms. We know that they're going to land safely, yet you're doing inside the Jaeger.
Right.
Like, how is that, again, intense? How does that add anything to the scene?
It's so...
Like, I can even...
I can't even name this anymore. Like, I'm drained right now just talking about this.
Because the movie was draining. Like,
it really was, man.
there was nothing exciting, adding or whatever. The one thing I do like as well was the Kaiju, the Jaeger with the two blades. I did like the way that one thing. It was like very agile and stuff. Did some crazy stuff, but everything else just drew away from it. There was something I liked, and then there was so much negative. I was like, I forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
So the directing in this, like, did you even remember the soundtrack?
What do I remember? I was sleeping.
I'm just trying to break it down because obviously, like you're saying, I like the cinematography, decent. I gotta say that cinematography is okay in the action scenes anyway. In the action scenes anyway, because when it's talking, it's dead. So the cinematography and action scenes is okay. The fight scenes, if it wasn't in the trailers, is average.
You can't even. I don't even think you should even count that.
If it's trailers or not.
If it's in the trailer,
then they're dead. Then.
Then I don't even think you should consider it because you've cheated us. Like and I'm being dead serious now, but people pay money to go support your movie. We spend time to go and watch your movie.
Right.
And you have literally cheated us with that scene by putting it on the trailer. Now, people who have not gone to watch your movie, spent their time and their money on your movie, got to watch that for free on the trailer.
Basically.
You know what I mean? So that to me is a slap in the face. Like, that's just so in this review, I'm not even gonna count these scenes as part of the movie because you already had given it to us. So, and even in the movie, it didn't raise anything.
Yeah.
It didn't add value to the movie.
Exactly.
So it's dead.
And that's what's so crazy as well. Like, the trailer is called IMAX. So imagine if you're going to see this in the IMAX, you're going to be pissed because
Listen,
there's not like I can't from even if I watched it on a mobile, and then go to IMAX. I'm like,
fam, it's funny because the next day, I see a couple of my friends Snapchat, and they went to IMAX. They
you
went to
should've warned
IMAX. No, they went the same night as we did.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't save them,
And
unfortunately.
people were raging like, yo,
Dude.
furious. Like, how much is a ticket for IMAX? Like,
25?
Martin.
And that's not even including food and drink.
Jesus Christ. Like, yo. That's nuts, man. Look, I've done this.
I'm still going in.
Oh, go ahead. Do
I'm
your
still
thing.
going in. Like, script, whoever wrote this, dead. Like I said, you're trying to explain a whole movie with one-liners. Man would just say one thing. Oh, really? What's that? Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's so rubbish. The scientist, he was dead. And then, like, he couldn't compare to the first. I can't remember.
Yeah,
the first,
like,
was it Ron Perlman? Was he the scientist in that one, or no? He knew about.
Yeah, he knew,
about
but then he
aliens,
just got reeled in with.
So he didn't have anyone special like that. Like, he didn't. There's not every single character. Everyone. Like this. That's the funny thing. There's some good actors in this. Like
that's. But this is where I'm not sure whether. And I'm gonna tell you this. Like Bad Boys, the first Bad Boys, the script wasn't great. You know, the first Bad Boys is just off the bat. Will Smith,
improvisation.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence
Wow.
improvising. You know what I'm saying? Like that's them two saving that movie.
That makes perfect sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like but this movie, like I don't know, maybe experience. You know, your weight as an actor. Maybe if you had those guys or those caliber, you know, that type of caliber acting or actors or actresses in the movie, maybe they could do something about that. But the cast didn't do that. They wouldn't. And to be honest, some parts did feel like it was improvised.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Especially John Boyega, like I said, like he's like that. You give him a scene, and I feel like he could.
Yeah,
add that little.
You know what I'm saying? A little flair to it.
And that's what I was going to say. Like that girl, I'm guessing her name is Charlie Spaney. Like I think she has a good future because I never really seen her before in any other movie.
Yeah, man, she was
and
actually
their chemistry between them two, I think, was good. And like I said, I think like you said, she was pretty decent. So in the right movie, in the right
absolutely, like the
cast,
right direction,
That's it.
right script. She would be like, I actually have no problem with her whatsoever.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think it'd be fair for me to sit here and be like, oh, you was terrible, you was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because she was in the first 20 minutes.
First 20 minutes?
Very believable.
She was very believable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bought into that character right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the bat, like, the way she approached things, the way she was telling, you know, when she was like, John Boyega was like, oh, you're gonna sell, and she was like, no, because I don't want someone to come and save me the next time these lot come to attack us. I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? Even the way she approached that, and the way it was very believable. You know what I'm saying? Very firm. So I have no problem with her whatsoever. You know what I mean? So that's just me on that.
Right, so yeah, like apart from everything else is like a write-off. I just named everything. It's like done. So
Dead off, fam. Dead.
Well, nothing saved this movie, unfortunately. But yeah, so I just named everything. I didn't think action scenes were all that great compared to the first one. It's a sequel, so I'm gonna compare anyway. Like I'm gonna go watch the first one. I'm glad that's that. So
Right.
like writing was terrible, script was bad, characters didn't believe in them, some didn't make sense, some should have died. Like music forgettable.
He said, I don't even remember the music.
Exactly.
To be
I don't
honest.
remember the music. That's how you know the action scenes or whatever was happening. Nothing added value.
I don't remember the score whatsoever, bro.
There you go.
Actually, I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
that
exactly.
now. I can't remember.
Can't
nothing of it,
remember
bro.
nothing. Final third of the movie was complete and utter trash. Like they made such a huge kaiju, and you do think how they're gonna stop this thing, and then they stop it by bringing one thing in the end, just cut it in half. That was
Captain Planet. That's
that was
what it
so
bro.
dumb. And even then they said, oh, it's because it's gonna terraform the whole Earth with Mount Fuji. They try to add so much of Eastern Europe, Eastern Asia, so much. Because of, I guess, in the whole mechas
Yeah.
and monsters, they
Listen.
fought it so much. They were
Listen.
like, this is why they were there in the first movie. No, we were in their way. They're trying to get to Mount Fuji. I don't give a F.
Like like sometimes I wonder if Hollywood is so caught up in their own crap that they have no room to embrace I guess places where these stories are originally from. You know what I'm saying? Like you could easily split, the Meccas, because that's what it was, the original, and Hollywood together. Okay, so Asia with Hollywood, you could bring that together beautifully. Okay, you can even bring some directors from that side, some actors from that side,
come on,
and then you bring your Hollywood. Because I understand that you gotta sell, but you bring those two together, you would make, like, even the cities. The cities are pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? Like the design of it, like, is pretty cool. But I feel like everything else could be done a lot more to bring the fighting scenes, the characters. Like even just thinking about the anime, it was so sick. Like even the pilots, the way they were. Like there's just so many things you could bring. Like different characters, just different flavors to it. Like the mechas, they'll be completely different from one another because of who's driving it. And it's just Hollywood all over for you, fam. And that's why we get crap like this, and we end up spending our time and money on it. So that's that.
Yeah, man.
But look, man, let's just shut this down. Man. This thing is dead at.
So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a 2.
You're actually giving this movie a 2, Sam.
There's worse movies than this.
Sam, you're giving this movie a 2.
I'm giving this movie a 2
Why are you giving this movie a 2?
because there's worse movies than this.
I'm not thinking about the movie. I'm thinking about this movie, Sam.
It's not dead enough to give it a 1, or even I just thought about the broken couch. It might get a broken couch. No, it might get a rating of sitting on the
Bruv,
floor.
it's sitting on the floor for me, fam. This movie, you're not sitting on what? Sitting on this sofa. You are mad. That's what I was trying to get at. Like, bruv, you're sitting on the floor, bruv. You're not getting a rate from me, fam. You're not getting a rate from me. You're sitting on the floor. This movie is trash, horrible, rubbish. Sitting on the floor.
It's
fam.
sitting on the floor.
You're sitting on the floor.
It's
fam.
sitting on the floor. I just told you, I was like, 2. Wait, there's a way. Yeah, it's sitting on the floor.
You're sitting on the floor for this, so you're not
Nothing
making the sofa,
salvageable,
fam.
like, yeah.
You're
Sorry.
not, and it's mad because John Boyega's from London. His movie, sitting on. He's the first one on the Cybernet sitting on. That's mad, fam. That's mad. That's what it is, man.
There's no
And you was a
fault, though,
producer
innit?
too on the movie, fam.
That's
So
not
you're
his
taking
fault,
that
man.
L as well, man. Mad.
It happens. But yeah, man, I guess first one, because I know Joe would definitely give it on the floor as well.
I don't even think Joe would make it to the.
Is that the rating?
That'll be like, yo, you two sit there and go through this nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
man.
look, guys, let us know what you think of this movie. I already know that some of you guys jumped on our stream. You said you liked the movie. Let us know, write your paragraphs. Let us know why you like this movie. what bits you don't. Clearly, you're going to disagree with our review. So let us know what bits you disagreed, what bits you liked, what bits you think they could have improved on, and what rating would you give him? Would you give this movie a sofa? Let us know. But pretty much, just shut this down.
Yeah, man. So, guys, that was the Pacific Rim Uprising spoiler review. I'm Sam, Mr. Blitz Tech.
And I'm Raven your GS.
And we'll see you on the next TCM review. Peace.
Peace.